his way to the ring from the Rocky Mountains, weighing 456 pounds, the man they call Vader. Chicago, Illinois, weighing 275 pounds, Road Warrior Hogan.
Four men vie for the European Championship. In this main event of tonight, we have the two former members of the Acolytes, Faarooq and Bradshaw, Vader and Hawk. All four of these men did superbly in the Royal Rumble match and do not have any gold around their belt, and that is why they are in this match here tonight. Rock would have qualified, but he has the Tag Team Championship with Mark Henry as part of the Nation of Domination. Now they won over Kane and Bradshaw in the finals of that match, as we see a big bulldog by Bradshaw against Vader. We have Vader and Bradshaw facing off, and Hawk and Faarooq facing off. Now Faarooq was with his tag team partner now, Undertaker. They lost to Kane and Bradshaw. Now, those two other members of their tag teams, Kane and Undertaker, we just saw in the fourth match of tonight. See another big bulldog by Bradshaw to Vader, setting the big man down on the mat. Now, Hawk's team, the Legion of Doom, lost to the Corporation very early in the tag team tournament. We saw the Corporation earlier qualify for a #1 contender match against Kane and Bradshaw. Now if Bradshaw can win the EU title here tonight, continue on to win that #1 contendership, and then win the title match, he could end up with 2 titles around his belt. Now, as I said, all 4 of these men did great in the Royal Rumble. As we see a signature break by Faarooq. Now Vader, the big man, did one of the best. He was the runner-up. He was eliminated by Shawn Michaels, the winner. He was the second to last man in that ring. As we see a big scoop slam from Vader to Bradshaw. Vader actually eliminated several men. He eliminated The Rock, and Bradshaw's teammate Kane from the Royal Rumble near the end of that matchup. Now we see both Acolytes in the corners. We see a huge clothesline coming out of the corner from Hawk, but Bradshaw able to counter into a big axe handle onto the head of Vader. Now we see The Rock, the tag team champion, Kane, the tag team member of the team clothesline from Hell with Bradshaw, as we see a fireman's carry slam from Hawk to Faarooq. To see Bradshaw fighting out from Vader, checking Vader against the ropes, whipping him across the ring now, whipping him into Hawk and Faarooq. That big man, that big splash of Vader can be absolutely devastating as he takes Bradshaw down to the mat. Now Bradshaw was actually eliminated by Faarooq in the Royal Rumble, but before he was eliminated, he was able to eliminate Gangrel from the Royal Rumble, who we saw in a hardcore qualification match earlier tonight. You see the back of Faarooq slam against the knee of Hawk, and Bradshaw doing a nice running DDT to Vader. You see a submission maneuver from Hawk to Faarooq. Vader going to interrupt that, but actually now going to become preoccupied with Bradshaw out on the outside here, as Bradshaw stripped off our announce table. Vader doesn't want any of that as he whips Bradshaw into the ring, onto the apron, and chokes him. Now there are no countouts in a match like this in those qualifications, as if one were disqualified, there would not be one winner. As we see Faarooq using that to full advantage, slamming those steel steps against Hawk. As we see Bradshaw fighting Vader still in the middle of the ring. We have Faarooq using those steel steps against Hawk. But as I said earlier, he eliminated Bradshaw from the Royal Rumble. He also eliminated Christian, who we saw earlier in tag team action with his tag team partner Edge against the Corporation. Big Boss Man and Ken Shamrock, before Faarooq was eliminated by The Rock. Rock, tag team champion with Mark Henry. As we see now the Acolytes trying to get some momentum on their side in their respective, as we get a big splash from Faarooq. Surprise, Faarooq and Bradshaw have not fought each other yet. Bradshaw did leave him hanging in their initial match in the tag team tournament, in which it was the Acolytes versus the Brothers of Destruction, in which Bradshaw left Faarooq to get destroyed by the 2 giants that we saw earlier tonight. Vader getting pushed away from Bradshaw. A series of punches from Faarooq to the back, as we see Bradshaw whipping Vader around with a drop toe hold. It looks like both the former Acolytes are dominating this match so far. These elbows to the shoulders of Hawk. Hawk did amazing last week, both in the Rumble and his qualification match. As we see Bradshaw now interrupting that submission maneuver by Faarooq. Not going to let Faarooq win this European title just yet. Hawk had to face in a triple threat match to even qualify into the Royal Rumble. He had to beat Triple H and the Godfather. He pinned the Godfather in that triple threat match, as Vader now goes for a submission maneuver onto Bradshaw in the early goings of this match. Bradshaw actually having to counter out himself as the 2 other combatants rolled outside of the ring. We get Bradshaw using the momentum of Vader for a big hip toss. Hawk countering out of that corner as we get a camel clutch, but Vader's foot was underneath the ropes, and as we talk about feet, Hawk just tripped over those steel steps After Hawk qualified for the Royal Rumble, he ended up eliminating Edge and Ken Shamrock, two men who we saw in tag team competition earlier in the number 1 qualification match, before he was eliminated by Rock, the eventual tag team champion. As they see Vader get whipped around, clothesline by Bradshaw, as they get an elbow to the face of Faarooq. Vader stumbling, getting tossed over the top rope. Faarooq trying to look for some action from the apron, but Hawk countering that as Bradshaw gets whipped into the barricade, and Faarooq tossing Hawk onto the outside. The ref just watching on in this chaos. He's just here to count a pin as he get a nice press, tossing Faarooq onto that unforgiving concrete, just lightly padded. You can see in this wide shot how huge arena is going wild, and you can see the gold that they're fighting for in this matchup as they get a big pin. Ooh, Vader able to counter that powerbomb quite athletically for such a big man. They're fighting so close to that European title that they are fighting for in this matchup. As Hawk gets whipped against a steel post, now gets whipped into the barricade as we get a huge release powerbomb from Vader, slamming Bradshaw into that concrete, and now whipping Bradshaw into that table. These competitors have stayed fighting against each other for such a long time. Bradshaw and Faarooq have not fought each other yet. Bradshaw hasn't fought Hawk. Hawk hasn't fought Vader, and so forth. Bradshaw looks to put Vader onto the table as we get a huge clothesline from Faarooq, putting Hawk onto the mat, slamming the head of Hawk against that mat. And now Vader being put onto the table as we get a big sidewalk slam into a backbreaker from Faarooq. And now big DDT from Vader, making Vader pass out on this table. He was just busted open on our announce table here. Bradshaw calling to the crowd. He knows he's done good. He knows he's got the big man wavering, but he's got to pay attention to the other men in the ring as Hawk sends Faarooq flying right into the middle of the ring. He might go for a pin here. Faarooq doesn't. Bradshaw puts a headlock onto Vader and whips him into the ring. Bradshaw is also showing signs of fatigue from that giant move into the announce table as we get a nice slam by Faarooq. Now pinning Hawk. 1, 2, 3. Interrupted by both Vader and Bradshaw before Faarooq was able to win this matchup. That is the danger of a triple threat or a four-way matchup. You have to make sure your other members of the match are preoccupied. As now Faarooq pulls Hawk into the middle of the ring. And now Vader going for a huge power bomb, sending Bradshaw flying. 1. Only a 1 count to Hawk now. Hawk able to recuperate some of his energy. And Bradshaw goes for a pin. 1. Bradshaw was being pinned there by Vader. And now Hawk calling for a big move now. He pulls Faarooq and goes for a reverse neckbreaker as Vader goes for a submission maneuver on Bradshaw here in the corner, putting a knee to the face of Faarooq and an elbow to the back of Vader as the ref has been knocked out in this chaos of all 4 of these men as Vader and Hawk finally tie up together as the former Acolytes are passed out on the ground, and now they're fighting against each other as they get a backbreaker from Hawk, as I believe the rake to the eyes from Bradshaw just made blood spill on the face of Faarooq. He just busted out open his former tag team partner, the second person he's busted open in this match. As Vader now grabs at the back of Hawk, slamming Hawk against the mat. Faarooq fighting out of the corner here, going to whip Bradshaw out of this ring. And now the big man Vader tried to get a pin on Road Warrior Hawk, but he was not able to get it done. And now a huge tilt-a-whirl slam from Vader, going for a pin again. 1. Only a 1 count. A huge pin from Bradshaw. Into the pin. Powerbomb pin. 1, 2. Interrupted by Vader. Vader was there to save his chance at the EU title, also known as the European title. As we have Faarooq and Hawk tie up now. We got a big suplex from Faarooq going for a pin. 1, 2, only a 1 count. As Bradshaw now pulling Vader into the middle of the ring. Probably going to go for a pin himself now. 1, 2, only a 1 count. Vader able to kick out. Not a big move there. As discus arm from Vader. Now he's going to go for a pin. 1, only a 1 count now. Faarooq perhaps pulling Hawk into the middle of the ring for a pin. 1, 2, 3. Faarooq gets the European Championship. We get some replays of that huge DDT from Bradshaw putting Vader through that table. And then a series of moves that resulted in Faarooq getting that pin here. Almost getting that pin. It was so close, but then Vader was preoccupied. Here's when the Acolytes fought each other and he was busted open. Faarooq was busted open. We got that big power slam from Faarooq. Vader almost getting a pin on Bradshaw, but Vader being preoccupied too much and Faarooq getting the pin for the European Championship.